find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
Say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching. And the Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
coming down. Does he have it?
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the JPB GT4 Championship Round 1 of Season 3. And we are here at Interlagos circuit in Brazil. We were here on Monday nights for the Clios. We're now back here for the GT4s. Of course, we've still got the hashtag Keep Fighting Craig here. For our good friend Mr. Craig Jones, who unfortunately was taken ill on Monday and is in hospital, hoping that he will be back with us soon and a speedy recovery for all of the issues that he's got running at the moment. Hopefully he will be with us once more and we'll be able to see Craig back on track, so that would be absolutely amazing. All the drivers running the Keep Fighting Craig banner on their car and on their liveries as well, so that's absolutely amazing for the support that these guys are giving as well in Craig's fight that he has got at the moment, and hopefully he will be back and up and running with us once more. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Michal this season, who's going to join me for the GT4s for the season as well. We've got the likes of Mikey Pollard and Richard Simnor back once more. We've also got Mikey Pierce, who's now a pro after winning the AMS, along with Chris Barnes, as well, who will also be a pro this season. We've got some of the AMS back in place once more. Rob Williams, Stu Gibbons, Dec Qualva is also here with Stuart Rice, Jess Rakowski. We've got new faces in Gary McFarlane and Torbjorn Miel is also back as well. Tristan Engelstad is also here once more. He will be alongside us again, and Kim Andre Bjorkland, who will also join us once more as well. Give us 2 seconds while we try and sort out a mic issue. Bear with us 2 secs. Okay, guys, it's going to be, hopefully we can get the mic issue sorted out that Michal is having at the moment. I will just mute him 2 secs while he deals with his issue, and then we will be back and running there once more. I hope you are all well. Thank you for Tristan, who has joined us with the hashtag Keep Fighting Craig here as well. There's been a lot of changes this season. Once more, the format will still open up with a 15-minute race, and then that will be set from qualifying. Then we will go into a 45-minute race. Now that will be with a top 15 reverse grid. So if you win the first race, you will be in the top 15 for in the 15th for race 2. The schedule itself this season, well, there it is on your screen. We'll be going off to Barber Motorsport Park, then Gilles Villeneuve circuit for round 3. Daytona will be a night race. That will be an hour-long second race. Donington Park for round 5. Fuji International for round 6. Long Beach for round 7. Mount Panorama for round 8. Round 9, we will be going for the Red Bull Ring. There is a change on there. Rod Skogan will get subbed out, and we will be running Mugello. Then we will finish off at Twingming Motegi. Again, will be a night race, and that will also be an hour-long second race. The drivers will have 40% fuel, so they will have to make sure that they do 2 pit stops. Hopefully Miguel's mic is sorted out. Miguel, how are you? Oh, I can't hear him at all at the moment. Right, hopefully he will resolve his issue as well, and hopefully we will get Michal into the booth with us once more. We are coming into the last 30 seconds of practice. If you are here, guys, don't forget to say hi and have a chat with us once more, and we will keep you entertained and occupied throughout this evening's racing. 26 cars on the grid currently at the moment. We've got 37 has registered. I know Patrick Faulkner, who unfortunately is taken ill here as well. He's got some good old man flu to battle on with, but hopefully he will be back up and running with us once more. So let's see what happens as we're going to be going into qualifying in the next few minutes here as well. So stay tuned for what plans to be an epic evening of racing as always. One that will deliver here is Interlagos, my favourite circuit. Of course, if anybody knows me, you'll know that this is my favourite circuit. I do love Interlagos. It is absolutely classic. It's absolutely awesome. So let's hope that we will get some great racing. You see there on the front of Mikey Pollard's car, the hashtag Keep Fighting Craig. So if you want to put that in chat, that would be absolutely amazing. You see it on the front of their bonnet as well, and there's a lot of drivers that have got that currently once more. You can see Deck Crowther has also got it on his car, and Rob Williams will have it on his as well. So as we know, if you have joined us, keep fighting Craig, and we'll hopefully see you back with us very shortly as well. So let's see what happens and see how we get on into qualifying here as well, and hopefully we will be up and running very shortly. Do you know what, Mr. Dan Peoples? It could well be why Interlagos is on the calendar. That's why it was on the Clio calendar, and probably why it's on the GT4 calendar, to be honest with you. So, you know, I like Interlagos. I think it's an absolutely awesome circuit, and one that we're going to be able to sit back and get, you know, some great racing of. As I say, with these GT4s, we've got 26 cars on track here, as they're all going to be starting their qualifying. It should be an absolutely amazing evening of races. Gary McFarlane for the DCW Racing Faulkner PC team is on track as well. They've got off with their normal yellow, and it's like a gold colour here as well, as Richard Simnott is the first person to go over the line and start off here once more. So hopefully Richard will get a time on the board. I mean, you cannot have this track. It always delivers. It definitely does deliver, dear sir. It definitely does. So hopefully we will see great racing and absolutely, you know, epic battles up and down the field. We've got a good split of pro and AMs. We've got 13 pros and 13 AMs. As I say, we've got 35 registered. I know some couldn't make the first round, but hopefully we will be getting a full grid back on as well. But 26 cars for this initial outing, and hopefully we should be good here. So let's see what happens once more and see how these battles go here as well. So yeah, hopefully sit back, we'll be back in 2 seconds, and enjoy. Right, Michal is still in the background fighting with his microphone, as it seems to have gone a little bit wrong this evening as well. Times on the board at the moment, 1:39.389 from Richard Simnar, Mikey Pollard, Stein Veman, Gavin Petty, Mikey Pierce, Miles Owens is also here as well. Good evening, Phil. How are you? You wonderful, beautiful person. Hope you're welcome in here as well. And don't forget to get your hashtags on in as well for the Keep Fighting Craig campaign, who is obviously for Craig Jones, who unfortunately has taken ill this week. As I say, he hopefully will be back with us shortly and battling away and getting through here as well. 39.3 on his first lap. Yes, Richard Simnar is a different prospect of driver. Let's see here if we can get Michal into the booth. I'm not entirely sure if he is up and running. Hopefully his mic's settled down, as it was giving mad feedback here. And we can see if we can get him into the booth. Hopefully we will be able to here as well. So Mikey Pollard running a few purples on the board as well. Mixture, of course, of Porsches, Mercedes, McLarens. We've got the Aston Martin. We've got BMW with Torno Oromets. Michael Pollard hugging the wall. He's going to go out. And what's he going to do on the board? 1:39.253. Mikey Pollard has jumped Richard Simnar there as well. And hopefully we will have a nice little battle between the AI Race Summaries Tracy team here once more. So let's hope that we can. Let's see if we can get Michal in without the issue of feedback. Michal, are you there? He's not there. He is not there. All right. As I work frantically in the background and see what we can do there as well. Hope you're well, Phil. Thank you so much for joining us as we've got these 26 gladiators on track at the moment. Kim Andre Bjorkland from the Sim Racing Norway team is here in the Porsche. He has got his teammate alongside him as well, and that is Torbjorn Mahle. M-A-E-H-L-E. Mal. I don't know. He'll probably tell me I pronounced it wrong. Anyway, Austin Draper is here in the Mercedes. We know Austin normally jumps in YouTube chat, and he's now here out on track with us. So he has come along to do some GT4s. So hopefully he will be back here as well. Hopefully he'll be, delivering on track, sitting in the arms there. Full of man flu, says Phil. Oh dear. That's not good. Is it the dreaded vid, is it? Or that's what they're calling it now, apparently. Tom Anderson is back in the Porsche. He's there with Performance Link Esports. Rachel Hoff is also here back with the Triple P Racing Free team. I blame Zach. Well, you can't blame Zach for giving you a cold. Jess Rikowski is here for the JC Sim Sport team. So Jess will be racing within the AMS. Again, a very Porsche heavy dominated field. Tom Bingham for the Performance Link Esports is here as well. He's currently sitting in 5th place. So let's see how he can do and see whether or not he's able to put that car any further up. You see the splits on the left-hand side at the moment. Robert Stoughton is taking the AMS with Tristan Engelstad in 2nd, Stuart Gibbons 3rd, Stu Rice 4th, and then Tom Bingham here in 5th place. In the pros, we've got Mikey Pollard, Richard Simnar, Kim Andre Bjorkland, Stein Veman, Miles Owens is here as well. I do love Miles Owens. We asked for team names and he put my favourite team. So I put his team name as my favourite team. But, there you go. Let's put it as favourite team. Dan, if you are around and you fancy jumping in and doing some comms with us, as Michal looks like his mic has just literally gone to pot. So if you want to jump in and join us, so there we go. That would be cool if you did. So yeah, much love to you all, and thank you so much here as well. Maybe we can get Dan come in and do some commentary alongside me, as we seem to have lost Michal before we've even started here as well. So yeah, that'd be awesome if you can, dear sir. Awesome if you can come in and help us out. There's Mikey Pollard, Richard Simnall, Kim Andre Bjorkland, Arya 1, 2, 3. Tristan Ingolstad has just jumped up in for Quad Dash Racing and has gone and done that. Miles is driving for Benelux Esports. Oh, is he? Oh, he's just put my favourite team on the form there, Dan. So I've listed him as my favourite team. You know what I mean? If he's going to do that as well. The answer to that question, Mr. Peoples, is I really can't answer that. How's it going to come through? How's it going to sound? How's it going to... I don't really know on that one. Go on, Dan, get back on. There's Bill across the pond. Let's change Miles's back to the Benelux Esports team then, if that's what he is as well, rather than my favourite team. Which, you know, if you are going to pop that in on the form, then that's exactly what you're expecting to get here. I think we are joined by Dan Peebles and some mad echo. Dan, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. I hope my mic is working. I am in Sweden at the moment. I'm on vacation. But as you can see, never really too late to do any commentary. Yeah. To settle the confusion on Miles. Miles is driving, indeed, like you said, for Benelux Esports. It's a team that I started up, I think, 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, to settle any confusion there, because we had it yesterday with the UK Sim Races as well. He is indeed driving for Benelux Esports. But good to be here.
So he's not part of the SOB racing anymore with him and E1 and, what is it, John Sylvester?
Well, we've taken all three of them in the MX-5s. They were driving indeed for their own team, SOB, but we've said, well, lads, come over, all three of you, and well, we set them up for 4 seasons, as it is at the moment, for the UK Sim Races MX-5. So that's cool. After that, Miles said, "Oh, I'm driving GT4 as well." We said, "Oh, well, we'll do that too then." So that's how it all came to play. But good to be here again, James.
Yeah, good to have you alongside me, Callum Milam. Come on, Triple P. Also, keep fighting, Craig. Where are you, Callum? You signed up for the GT4s, and where are you? What are you doing sitting in YouTube chat? You should be out here on qualifying. As you can see at the moment, Mikey Pollard leading the way on a 139.253, and then Richard Simnott on a 139.370. Kim Andre Bjorkland not too far back on a 139.469, and then Tristan Engelstad and Robert Stotton are leading the arms with Tom Bingham here as well. Don't forget there will be promotions and demotions, guys, as well. They do have to complete 75% of the race distance to be classified for points. I know there was a little bit of controversy of somebody crashing on lap 1 and then sitting in the pits and still claiming points, so we've changed that rule as well, and obviously a top 15 reverse for race 2. Dan, Interlagos, do you love it or do you hate it?
Well, like I said earlier on, you can't hate this track really, purely because it always delivers, no matter what you drive, where you drive, or what car you drive. It never disappoints. It always brings good racing. I was here not too long ago in the Porsche Cup and iRacing in the officials. And even though I'm the worst driver you can probably find, I still had some good racing there. So this track, no matter which driver you put on it or which car, it always delivers. So yeah, I do love it, just like you, James.
The fact that you did officials was brave enough, Dan.
Yeah, true. Probably as well in the
Porsche Cup car. Yeah. I think that's very brave of you to do officials in the Porsche Cup car, especially when, well, it's the Porsche Cup car and it's officials. It never normally goes well when I attempt to go and do it.
Yeah, I agree. But has Miles now done the same thing twice? I think he's gone off at that corner twice after each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not. Well, I do want to say, of course, when I heard about Greg, of course, my thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. Do want to point that out. I fully support everything we're doing, and we of course appreciate everyone who puts in the hashtags, who's done that on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't know these days anymore, really, to be honest, James, if you call it X or if you call it Twitter. But we appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah, I think generally it's Twitter to us old people, Dan.
Yeah.
Us old people who generally call it Twitter. We probably still do, but you know, all the logos changed to X and everything else, and you know, at the end of the day, who knows, to be honest. As long as that hashtag is still out there and people are still using it, that would be absolutely amazing. Don't forget, you know, is struggling. I'm going back down again on Friday, so let's see everything there as well. Jono, good evening, my lovely James. Good evening, dear sir. Where are you? Hey, withdrawing? I don't know. Just too late for Jono, apparently. He's old, Dan, you see.
Well, I've recently turned 22, so I'm not a teenager anymore. Not to say that I feel old, definitely not. And you know what they always say, you're as old as you feel. And I feel young, I feel happy, I feel great, especially now that I'm back doing some commentary. When was the last time, actually, James? I think the last time was TSRC Sports Car Championship. That was LMP3 and GT4 as well.
Yeah, long time ago. But here is the poll for round one. Mikey Pollard is on pole. Richard Simnor in second. Kim Andre Bjorklund in third. Gavin Petty in fourth. Stein Beeman fifth. Mikey Pierce in sixth with Tom Weston seventh. Anders Liliorde in eighth. And Miles Owens in ninth. Then we got Tristan Engelstad in 10th. Robert Stotton in 11th, and then Chris Barnes is in 12th place. Behind that is Tom Bingham with Dan Babbage, Dek Crowther and Torno Oromets. And then we've got Stuart Gibbons, Stuart Rice, Jess Rukowski, Rob Williams, Tom Anderson, Torbjorn, that name, Gary McFarlane and Chris Evans, and Rachel Hoff and Austin Draper. You know I'm going to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done the same thing, to be honest. Well, if he can let us know how you pronounce it, that would greatly help us.
Yeah, I've got mail, and I'm sure it's not. You love stirring the pot, James. I do. I know there was a real valid reason there, but I can't let you get away with it, Jono. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. I've got to give you some grief. What sort of broadcaster would I be if I didn't give the community grief? As you can see, we do have the half a pace lap. They will be starting off on that run up through the Ferradura as well. At the football tonight, only round our miss, mate. What is that? Norwich, Callum? Is that you're off to see the mighty Norwich, if I'm not mistaken, or I might be, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. There as well. I do like to point out my beloved Spurs won 4-1 the other day, so there we go. Square up. Hey,
I just want to say that Sunderland won 2-1 yesterday as well. There we go.
Oh, there you go. You're
back to the racing.
Sunderland fan.
Yes, sir. I am.
I wouldn't have expected that.
Oh. It's been really quiet after that.
Well, I thought you would have said Ajax or PSV or, you know, somebody Dutch.
That's standard.
Not Sunderland. Like, just no. I wouldn't have. No, that wouldn't have been high on my list of teams for you, Dan. I've got to be honest. So.
Oh, there we go. Now you know.
Well, there we go. Now I do know. QPR, says Jono. Well, there we go. And Callum's off here as well. Right, we're on that run up through Subida de boxes before we go on to the second part, which is the bleachers before they come over the line. There is a Portuguese name, but I don't really want to try and pronounce it for this second part of this corner. Believe it or not, it is split up into three. We've got Subido, then we've got what translates to the bleachers, and then we've got the start-finish here as well. Pace car's going to pull in. Richard Simnar has backed them all up. They've all got their keep fighting Craig's on the front. and we're going to be up and running. The opening round, 15 minutes of racing. Don't forget, grid 2 will be set by the reverse grid as well. There's some jumpers all the way through. There's changes of positions. Richard Simnar is away as he's coming down into turn 1 with Mikey Pollard taking the lead. Kim-Andre Bjorklund has jumped Richard Simnar as well. Simnar dropping down into third place at the moment as they all head around the centre S's. Miles Owens making his way past Robert Stotton for 10th place as well. Gary McFarlane for the DCW has jumped up 3 places here, Dan. Nice clean start for everybody. Everybody got away up and running.
Indeed, it was an AI Race Summaries front row, but Kim-Andre Bjorklund has managed to break that formation. Look at that. It's all 4 of them almost line astern. If Kim-Andre Bjorklund wasn't in between them, it would be a 1, 2, 3, 4 for that team. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, it is. The likes of Steve Veman and Simnar, Pollard, and also Mikey Pierce there as well. Tom Weston. Oh, there is a spinner there. That's Chris Barnes. Barnes has locked it up, and unfortunately for Chris Barnes, he's gone off the side. There he is, recovering on the right-hand side there once more. Rakowski trying to get involved in a nice little battle with the triple blade Gamma of Stu Gibbons with Torno Oromets behind. He's just gone up the inside at Pico de Bado before they run off around Mugello down into Juncal there as well. Mikey Pierce has also had a moment once more, and he's onto the grass as well, Dan. It's not going well for the, since you've said about the AI Race Summary team.
Yeah, there we go. There's my first, commentator's curse after I'm back. Not off to a great start, James, am I?
No, not really, dude, but he's done it all on his own. That's the thing. There was no contact with anybody, and I don't think Chris Barnes is very far behind him here either. And there we go. You just saw Chris Barnes flash through. It looks like also Gavin Petty, Robert Stotton have also had a coming together as well, and both of them men have dropped down the order. Here is Robert in that McLaren. That's Miles Owens behind him in that recognisable green and black. There is Petty gone round. Oh, but Robert Stotton, he ran in too deep there at Juncal, and unfortunately they've all come on top of each other there, Dan. But that opening AI Race Summaries domination that you said is no longer here, dear sir. There's only Pollard, Simnar and Veman in the top 4.
I love how you say only while there's still P1, 3 and 4. I mean, that's quite good of a team performance. If you want to go for a team championship, then you really don't need much more than this, as long as you keep picking up those podiums, being consistently there. That's also something, especially for a first round of a championship. You don't need to be winning every round. You just want to get off to a good start. You don't want to make any silly mistakes like we saw earlier on. Going off by yourself, that's something you want to try and avoid, especially at the beginning. You want to get in a good groove. You want to pick up those points early, so you're not under too much pressure come the halfway point or the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Points on the board is more important. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Getting something to open up your account with, you know, and at the end of the day, there has been changes to the point system this season as well. They get a point for pole position, they get a point for fastest lap in each race, 25 points for the winner in race 1, and then 50 points for the winner in race 2. So, you know, there's some decent points on the board. Kim-Andre Bjorklund has just lost that position to Richard Simnar. He's coming back around the outside. He squeezes him there on the exit of the centre S's. Now up the Red Raposta they go. Bjorklund's got the inside line here, Dan. He's should be able to hold the position as they go running down into turn 4, but he's opened up the door for Simnar to stick his nose alongside. Could it all go wrong for Kim-Andre here?
Simnar also had to defend from his teammate Veman, and he's now going to pick up the pieces after the two collide. Kim-Andre Bjorklund and Simnar both off the track, and that happened at the exit of turn 4. And, well, as you can see, have to wait for the whole field to get past. Simnar thought none of it, and he went back on track. Probably not the best rejoin there.
No, but I think at the end of the day, in a weird way, he's in a better position because he's now in 15th, which, as we know, will go is the pole, is the top 15 reverse. So for him at the moment, he's sitting in the prime spot, which doesn't really make sense, but it does if you look at it from a point scoring position. He's got the chance to go out and score 50 points in race 2, along with obviously where he is at the moment. He's going to get 6 for where he is at the moment, so he could walk away with 56. Pollard's obviously going to take 25. We don't know where he's going to be in the second one, so they could be generally alongside each other by the end of round 1.
I have a feeling, though, Richard Simner is not going to settle for where he is at the moment, P14. He wants to gather as much positions back as he can. And at the moment, Rakowski is the next one on his list. But yeah, that P15, an important position. Keep an eye on that, of course, for race number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. The reverse grid, as we know here, is absolutely massive and is vitally important for these guys as well. They're going to be wanting to try and get that reverse grid as well. Simnor kills again, says Andy Jones. I'm not entirely sure how much that was of Simnor's fault. I don't generally defend people here, but if you have a look at Kim-Andre Bjorklund on the right-hand side, he does kind of come across him, but he was already on the turning circle before, and he wasn't really alongside. I'll give you that, because as we know, front wheel, rear wheel, and he didn't really have that alongside at that moment, Dan.
I mean, at the time he went for that move, the gap was there, but as you know, that gap was always going to disappear. Miles Owens makes his way up to the podium. Tom Weston down to P4 for DCW Racing. Now I'm going to test your knowledge here, James. Do you know what DCW stands for?
Duck. It is. It's
duck. Yes.
Duck cat wine racing.
Yeah, there we go. He knows it, ladies and gentlemen. Ask James Parfitt everything.
Yeah, that's because they were a long time ago. They were duck cat wine racing when I first commentated on them. Don't know, 2 years ago now. They were the same, but then they changed over to AI Race Summaries because obviously they do the race reports. And if you haven't checked them out, guys, go and check out AIRaceSummaries.com and you can see some of the things that they do. They do great race reports as well. And we will be doing them for the GT4s. So there will be race reports.
Look at that. Kim-Andre Bjorklund. Sorry to cut you off, James. That's a brilliant move. Up the inside of turn 1. And Tom Weston down another position.
Yeah, he literally got sent on there from Kim-Andre Bjorklund as he battles his way back through here once more. So a great move from Kim there. Some great racing so far up and down the field.
Yeah, I don't know if we can have another look at the move that Kim-Andre Bjorklund made at the insides of Weston. Weston looks like he's dropping off a bit. I don't know if he's... Well, if his tires got too hot or anything, but it looks like he's dropping pace a bit. He's also been put in positions where you don't really want to be put, and that's a beautiful switchback from Liliorde, and he makes his way up into the top 5, but Weston says, not too early, son. He's going to try and make his way up the inside again. That becomes the outside for the left-hander, and well, Liliorde has that move done.
Yeah, we will have a look back at that move very, very shortly from, obviously, Kim-Andre Bjorklund, who did absolutely send it past Tom Weston. Here we go, going into turn 1. He switches up the inside. No holds barred from Andre Bjorklund there, Dan. He just literally saw the gap, sent it, and away he went.
That was a Ricciardo-esque move when he was in his prime at Red Bull. That was late braking, but also making the apex. I was kind of surprised by that. I was expecting him to kind of overshoot the corner a bit. But he just wanted to get that pass done. He wanted to chase after Miles Owens, and well, he's now 4/10 behind him. Meanwhile, Weston is about to, if he doesn't watch out, drop another positions to Bingham. He is, of course, the leader in the AM class. The AM class at the moment being led by Bingham and Engelstad right behind him. 3/10 only between those two.
Yeah, some great battles developing throughout the field here as well, guys. So stay tuned and keep your racing going. 6 minutes remaining here, Dan, as well. Do we think can they come out on top? Can the AI Race Summaries boys keep hold of it? Can Mikey Pollard and Stein Beeman bring it home?
I mean, if we look at the two behind them, it's 6.4 seconds to Miles Owens, who's in a battle with Bjorklund. Less than a tenth between those two, but Veenman and Pollard, I think, are going to work together here, James. Especially in these early stages of the season, you could say, well, you're free to fight, but it is just smart to take those points at the end of the season. The one of those who's quicker over a whole season, the one of those between Pollard and Veenman. who is more consistent throughout the season, well, in the end, he will rise to the top. So it isn't really necessary to make those changes to get those positions in the early stages of the season. I would say just work together. Make sure you pick up those points for the team, because that in the early stages of the season is what is most important.
Yeah, absolutely. Points and points there for the AO race summaries. They are obviously not in the same team. We've got Mikey Pollard in the Tracy team and then Stein Beeman in the Jesse team. We've got Dan Babbage, who is just making moves there with Tristan Engelstad alongside him. And coming through, you can also see Det Kralva and then Torno Oromets, who's decided to take it free wide down the start-finish straight here. How is this one going to pan out? The first free wide of the evening of the season, and it's coming down into turn one. Crowver's got it. They bumped doors. Here comes Richard Simnor as well. He's going to make an opportunity coming out of Center S's. He's going to get the run on Torno Oromets here along the Red Raposta they go. And Richard Simnor down absolutely buried that 2 for 1 there and absolutely smashed it.
That was beautifully set up by Simner as well. He's now got to defend going into turn 4 to keep that position, and does that beautifully. And, well, I just want to talk about how he set that up, because he overslowed the car a bit going into turn 1, knowing that the gap on the exit of the Senna would just open up for him. So that was some beautiful racecraft there by Richard Simler.
Yeah, not really unexpected. You know what I mean? He is last season's defending pro champion. Mikey Pierce is last season's defending well, saying that, he got promoted to pro because he won the AMS, and he's currently sitting all the way down in 17th. Not even going to be on the pole position for the reverse. That currently is held by Stu Rice, who is sitting 5th in class at the moment. He's trying to get on to the back of Jess Rakowski. Some nice little development with Tom Bingham, who's got Dan Babbage, who's got Crowver, Simnor, Oromets, Engelstad, Gibbons, Rakowski and Rice, all within a few seconds of each other here. We're going into 3 minutes. It's going to be this one and one more here for the opening round of the GT4s at Interlagos, and so far it is Mikey Pollard running an absolute way with it, and then Kim Andre Bjorklund in 3rd, who's got Miles Owens looking with a fight with Lily Orde going into turn 1 here, Dan, and then that McLaren of Tom Weston as well from DCW Racing. So it could be a nice little freeway to finish this off over the final lap.
Lediore might have gotten Owens. That was, like I said, he overslowed the car once again going into turn 1, made Miles go defensive, and now that gap has opened up the inside for turn 4, and that's where you want to be. Miles is going to be pushed out, I expect. Miles has none of it, brakes late, gets ahead to the apex. And, well, that was beautiful defensive driving from Miles. And, well, with that, I'm not biased.
Well, slightly a little bit there, but Lily Orde is looking at coming back round the Ferradoro. Is he going to have the inside for SA? Is he just going to send it as they're going to go right for SA? They've got to get it over that curb entrance, then coming round to Pinarino, open it up, lock it up nice and tight. They're going to run round now into Pico de Pato, and this is where the lines can differ. You've got to get it in the dip. The dip is there. You've got to use it to help rotate the car. There you go. Lily Orde did it on the run now round Mugello down into Juncal. How is this going to happen here once more? Paddy Faulkner, really, dude, already? Come on, mate, it's the opening round. We're only like 40 minutes in here as well. What's going to happen with Mikey Pollard? Is this going to be the white flag? 139.42, 140, 139. It is the final lap of the race here, and Lily Orde still going at Miles Owens here once more down. This is going to turn into a nice little ding-dong for the final lap.
Is he going to go outside or is he going to go inside? He wants that inside. Miles blocks the inside. He has to go to the outside for turn 1. Lily Orde is ahead going into the apex. Miles still on the inside. And Miles gets through once again. But once again, watch that exit for Lily Orde. He focuses on it. And that's going to pay off down the back straight. Lily Orde now got the exit he wanted. Miles once again defending the inside, James. And let's be honest, that's where you want to be going into turn 4.
Yeah, absolutely. The only trouble is you slows your exit coming out. If Lily Orde gets a run, which he is going to do now, he's going to be alongside, near it, almost coming up into the Ferradora. He got his nose cut off by Miles Owens there as well. Now Tom Weston's trying to get involved and have a little piece of this once more. 3 cars fighting out. Weston in that McLaren this season. Don't forget, last season he was in the Porsche and is now in that McLaren. McLaren. A lot of the Porsche users are still in the Porsche, mind you, and there's only a few changes there. Dak Craver's come out of the BMW, he's gone back into the Mercedes. Torno Autometz has stayed with his favourite BMW here as well, so a great job for him to stay in that. And then we've got Mikey Pollard, of course, staying with the Porsche. He's going to come over, looking like he's going to take the win here in race 1.
Feynman got close, but it's going to be too little too late, James.
Yeah, I fully agree. As he comes around that final corner now, here he comes, your winner, Mikey Pollard, wraps up the opening win. He gets the job done. I want to see what goes on with Miles Owens and Liliore. It's going to be Miles Owens is going to hold on here and to that 4th place. Is Liliore even going to get him? No, Weston tries, doesn't make it through. Tom Bingham takes the victory for the AMs. We've got Tristan Engelstad, who's 2nd, and Stuart Gibbons from the Blade Designs 3rd. Rachel Hoff, she's trying to get a hold of Gary McFarlane, and currently Rachel is not going to make it through. McFarlane's going to take that inside over that Merc, and a great job there as well. Very close finishes to the line here, Dan. Great opening race already, and Bjorklund, well, Bjorklund looks like he's come to play.
Indeed. Came back to P3, a incredible recovery drive from him. We also have to say, if we look further back in the field, Simner has gotten back up to P9. That will give him, if my calculations are correct, and you know what they say, James, never trust a commentator for his math, but that's going to be P6 if I'm correct.
Well, hopefully, Dan, you will be correct. We have got a 5-minute warm-up as we are going into this reverse grid. Let's bring you up the results of Heat 1. And Mikey Pollard here is in 1st place. He is your winner with Stein Beeman in 2nd. Kim Andre Bjorklund wraps up 3rd place for the sim race in Norway. Miles Owens, great opening race for him in 4th, with Anders Liliore in 5th. Tom Weston gets 6th in that McLaren. Then we've got Tom Bingham, who's taking the AM win with Dan Babic, and Richard Simnall come back to 9th place. Dek Craver 10th, and Torno Autometz in 11th. Tristan Engelstad in 12th, Stu Gibbons in 13th. That's your 1, 2, 3 with Bingham for the AM podium. Jess Rakowski in 14th. Stuart Rice in 15th is going to be taking the pole position for race 2. Rob Williams in 16th with Mike Pierce in 17th. And then behind that we've got Tom Anderson, Gary McFarlane, Rachel Hoff, Robert Stoughton, Torbjorn, that name, Chris Evans, Gavin Petty, Chris Barnes and Austin Draper. Don't you laugh at me, Dan, because you can't pronounce it either.
I can't, even though I'm in Sweden.
Yeah, I heard you. Chuckle.
It's just that name, you know.
I don't know what it is. To be honest, I really should know, but I'm sure it's Torbjorn Male. I'm going to Google it.
I mean,
I can't do this. I've got to Google it.
Usually what I do if I have names, and I have had quite a few of them, because the Next Gen Cup Championship, of course, was Swedish. I have had quite a few of them that I had to just search up. I go to the language that they talk, wherever the driver is from, put the name in, and then let Google Translate, point me in the right direction.
I would do, but I've just typed it in, and it's picked it up as it was Hawaiian, which clearly it's not, but let's... Male. Okay? Male. So there we go. That was it.
There we go, now we know.
Male. Austin Draper, I don't want to talk about it. We won't pick up on the fact there, Austin, either. So good job. I don't want to be a pole. I'm scared. You'll be fine. Put on your big boy pants, Stuart Rice. Tuck it up. Let's go. Here as well. Just saying, trophy for the nicest name goes to Lily Orde. I can do with that. As well. So, yeah, should be great racing.
Trophies for everything here.
I didn't even realise we were doing trophies for the nicest names, to be fair. But this is Callum, coming from Callum, who did dedicate himself to Lower Am Champ. You know what I mean? Because there was a typo in GT4's last season, and he was the only one with a lower A instead of a capital A. So he gave himself a title of the Lower Am Champ and gave himself a trophy, believe it or not.
Well, there we go. You've got to find those exploits, James. If you can get a trophy because of it, it's a smart move.
Mate, he was the only one in the Lower Am category.
Yeah, but he still had to, he still had to perform. He still had to drive well, and if he finished last, it wouldn't have mattered because he still would have won. But still incredible performance. I think he would be the driver of the season. The underdog won it.
The underdog who's in a class completely on his own. But fair play there as well. So we've got some drivers out on the warm-up before we go into race 2. So there we go. Best haircut, best steering wheel, best marshals, best commentator. Wait, not the last one. Never mind. No. And if
you might get that one. VCO semis?
No, he didn't get nominated. And if you watched probably last night's MX5, you probably heard Zach Sweeney say vote for me more times than I care to imagine. If he was he's milking it like a maid at getting hold of a cow's teats at the moment, I can tell you that much. Vote for that.
I mean,
I've given up, to be honest with him, Dan. He mentions
I can still, James, remember last season. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Last year, I can still remember that one.
Do you know, the interesting thing is, like I said, right, I said I weren't going to push for it this season, not really worried about it, and I still ended up getting the votes into the top 10, which was great for me, and I don't disrespect, that's not meant disrespectfully. I'm just saying that last season when I went out and I was all over it like a rash, you know what I mean? And then obviously TikTok happened and it didn't quite work out. But, you know, it's great to be nominated in the top 10, and I fully appreciate that. You know, I know the judges obviously being involved in the background of it this season as well, and helping out Florian and being there and putting ideas across and stuff like that, you know, and how it should work. And obviously, you know, everybody knows about the controversy I called back in October. So that's all changed, and I'm grateful for that. And, you know, at the end of the day, if I've represented change, I don't really need to be nominated for it. I think I've done my job and given everybody else. And there's a lot more different people this season as well, which is absolutely awesome to see. So let's bring the grid up for race 2. It is Stu Rice on pole with Jess Rakowski in second, and Stu Gibbons and Tristan Engelstadt here. Torno Oromet, Stek Kraver, Richard Simnar, 7th. He was Dan, not 6th. Dan Babich, Tom Bingham, Tom Weston, Anders Liliode and Miles Owens. There we go into Kim Andre Bjortland, Stein Veman and Mikey Pollard. Then Rob Williams, Mike Pierce, Tom Anderson, Gary McFarlane, Rachel Hoff, Robert Stoughton, Thomas Mayle, Chris Evans and Gavin Petty, and then Chris Barnes and Austin Draper. So once more, we are going to have this half-pace lap here, Dan. And once more, we will get this racing going again. There should be great action and evening of racing for all of these guys once more. Top 15 reverse could be an interesting one.
Yes, however, I did say, James, never trust the commentator on his math, and we've just proven why that is.
Yeah, you got it wrong.
This race, 3 times as long as race 1. That should give the drivers that are at the P15, P14 spot, the drivers that won and came second last race, that should give them enough time to come through the field.
Yeah, and they've got a pit stop to make as well. They're not going to make it to the end. They have got a pit stop to make. Don't forget the dark night races at Daytona and Twin Ring. They're going to have to make 2 because their fuel gets reduced to 40%, but they do have an hour-long race. What would you do if you were Stu Rice? When would you start bolting here, Dan?
Probably not too early, because the earlier you go, the more the others will benefit from your slipstream.
Really?
There we go. Yeah, down that front straight. If you slow them down now, which is what he's doing, to his full right, of course, he can dictate the pace. But if he goes early, well, there's a chance that the Mercedes behind him, I don't exactly know who that is because I've got no...
Rob Williams. No, it's not. Stu Gibbons.
Well, Gibbons can have a chance of slipstreaming past him. So you never want to go too early. I can still remember Max Verstappen here at this point. He went all the way to the start-finish line. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I just think if he could have laid off a little bit more and let the pace car get out and finish off here. Stu Gibbons is going to take him down to the line. He is going to take him, and now he's out in front. Can Stu Gibbons wrap this up here and take the win? Is he going to be able to hold on? He's got some fast pros behind him. There's been a little bit of a tat-tat-tat or something's going on at the back because a few people have lost positions here, and now there is. It's Dan Babbage.
Oh, no.
3 of them into the wall. And I think there, Kim Andre Bjortland and Dan Babbage are coming together with Tom Bingham. And let's see what happened here. We can get up onto the chopper And what goes on? There's, free wide. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, not in the way that they set it up. Björklund tried to make his way up the inside. It was that was too late. I think it was a bit too optimistic. Of course, the DCW McLaren on the inside saw him there, but had nowhere to go.
No.
So yeah.
Oh, Rakowski's gone up as well. And unfortunately for Rakowski, he's losing positions now, coming back on the grass into Pinorino. I think for Kim Andre Bjorklund there, I think that may have been a bit of a rush of blood there. That was never going to work. Free wide there, Dan. And I think for Bjorklund, it just maybe needed to settle a little bit. As Stu Gibbons, look at Richard Simnor, up 5 places in race 2 already.
Let's be honest, if you're Kim Andre Björklund, you can be the hero if you make up that many positions in one corner. What he also needed to think about, however, though, was the fact that, and I do fully agree, that was never going to work. 3 into 1 there in the corner where you always pinch to the inside, where you naturally take that line. No, that was never going to work. But for Rice, that has given him a 1.3 second gap at the front of the field. However, though, if I was Rice, I'll be worried right now if I saw Simner in my rearview mirror.
Yeah, and he's going to have that on his relative of course. That was Tom Weston for the DCW McLaren involved in that one. What about the winner from race 1? Mikey Pollard has moved up 2 places. He's sitting in 13th. Biggest gainer, though, Chris Barnes, up 10 places here already, and this is only lap 2, and 10 places for Chris Barnes. Great job. Rakowski down 20. Bingham, Babbage and Bjorklund, well, that's a drop and a half. That's 45 places between the 3 of them have lost spots. So unfortunately for them, not a good opening run. But for this man, Chris Barnes, up 10 places. Absolutely stellar job staying with Mikey Pierce. And of course, it was Barnes and Pierce who had their battle all of last season and did a great job. But Stu Rice has gone off the circuit. Oh no! What did you do? Coming in, and he's just gone round. And 0 to 0 within a matter of seconds, Dan.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for. But, well, that has given the lead now to Simner. And he can build on that lead. But for Stuart Rice, that is, well, that's a big chance that he had to pick up some good points, especially in that reverse grid race. Well, thrown away now, I think.
Yeah, I fully agree. As we're on board with Torno Oromets, he's just trying to make the move here past Stu Gibbons, who's gone all the way to the right-hand side. You've left that door wide open. Oromets is not going to need an invitation to get that one up the inside. He's going to say thank you very much in that BMW, the only BMW, I believe, in the field. I am surprised that Deck Crowther did not take the BMW. It's his Deck's favoured car in the GT4s. He swapped over to the BMW last season and took a grid penalty. Obviously, if you take swap cars, you can't qualify. You have to start from the back of the grid up until race 3, and then if you swap cars after race 3, not only do you need to take a grid place penalty, you lose 10 points for the trouble as well. So we're trying to hopefully keep everybody in the cars that they've started with. We've got Tristan Engelstad from Quad Dash Racing currently sitting in second in class here as well and doing a great job. There's not a lot of gap between some of these bottom fielders here, Dan. You know, you can see it on the left hand side. Torno Oromets all the way down to Chris Barnes is only 7 seconds, and Oromets is there and Barnes is all the way down in 13th, so not a massive gap. As we do know, they've got to pit with, well, it's normally around the last 20 minutes or 15-minute mark we start seeing people coming in.
Yeah, what you usually see happen during these reverse grid races is that towards the middle of the race and towards the beginning, we all bunch up because the drivers that were obviously quickest in the first race, well, they're coming through the field again. They're having to make their way through the field, and that makes the field bunch up through, well, towards the middle of the race. Now, we have got, like you said, that pit stop that they have to make. Change that up a bit. When are you going to make that pit stop? Are you going to be the first one, or you're going to be the last one to make that pit stop? Are you going to go early, or are you going to go late. That's something that I have to take into consideration, and that's something that's going to spice up this race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Crowther there once more, still sitting in third place overall. Vima behind it with Tristan Ingolstadt behind that. Then you got Weston in his McLaren with Lily Orde trying to come through in the Porsche. Rob Williams is doing a great job. He's up 7 places, sitting third in the AMS. He's got Miles Owens, of course, from the Benelux esports team now, I know, and not my favourite team, in the Aston Martin, chasing him down. One of the very few Aston Martins. We've only got 3 on the grid here this season, where we had a few more. I know a lot of people have changed over. As you see, Stein Veeman there still not able to get past Deck Crowther, and he's starting to get a little bit of a queue developing behind Deck here as well, with no fewer than about 7 cars going to start coming at him very shortly.
Once you're at the front of that train and you do get passed by one car, you usually see that the floodgates open, because you're being put in a position that's going to slow your overall racing lap down a lot if you keep fighting. Of course, if you put your car in a position where the other car can't put you in a position where you don't want to be, well, that's going to dramatically increase your chances of keeping the car behind you. However, that's not what at the moment Veenman is looking at doing. He's trying to make his way through, and Veenman is impatient to say the least, because he wants to get through and chase down the guys ahead of him.
Yeah, there you see Crowther making it very hard coming out of Junkao. He got it all a little bit wrong. Crowther went in a little bit too deep there. He's now going to be running side by side. Veeman's going to take it. Is Crowther going to send it out the inside? He's not this time around. Now behind that, we've got the likes of Engelstad, who's trying to have a go at Crowther once more. You can see the gap in the middle of the field with Liliorde battling away with Weston as well. Some great little fights developing, some great little action taking place here as we go on board with Liliorde. That is the McLaren GT4, hard on the brakes. He goes at the 100 mark, tucks it up over the curb. Now Weston's got a bit of a slow exit. Liliorde runs to the outside. Now we're on the run up into Ferradora. Weston defends off the inside line there, goes back on his line. He's allowed Liliorde almost to get up the end. Oh
my God.
Liliorde, it was like plastic surgeon for Liliorde there. It was nose nearly gone there. But to be fair, Weston did leave the gap. So, as we know, if gap car.
If gap car, but you also got to be sensible, because you can also say if gap car and if gap disappears penalty. And that's not what you want, of course. But, well, Liliorde tried to make his way up the inside. That gap eventually closed. You always knew it was going to happen. That's why me and James were also so tentative about what was going to happen, because we knew that that gap eventually was going to close.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the problems, of course, that, you can't be in that position. We saw it with Kim Andre Bjortland in the first one. We saw it in the first race with Richard Simnar, and in the beginning of the second race with Kim Andre Bjortland. Unfortunately for Kim Andre, he's been involved in a couple of incidents here this evening as well. Robert Stoughton has just lost that place to Mikey Pollard. Pollard now up 5 places in 10th, doing what he needs to do. We've got a great little hand battle. Look at all of these developing down here. This is Rakowski, Thomas Mail, Rakowski, Anderson, Bingham and Babbage all fighting out. Of course, Bingham and Babbage were involved in the incident right at the beginning there. Is Andre Bjortland still running? He is. What about Austin Draper? He is. Austin's first ever league race ever here as well, after being in YouTube chat, and went, James, can I join? And I was like, yeah, lad, come and have a go. And he has come and had a go, bless him, Austin Draper. So great job there as well. Some great action going on further down in the AMS here, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your first league race, the only thing you want to do is not kick up a fuss. That's all you want to do. And I mean, Draper has done that so far, and I think for a first ever league race, definitely not doing badly at all.
No, I think that's one of the things, isn't it? You've just got to learn here and, learn to race. You've got Bingham, Anderson and Babbage. Babbage just is trying to get through on Anderson at the moment. He's being held up a little bit from these guys. You can see Rakowski trying to have a go there as well. Whoever's on the lights, knock it off. Don't get me started on that one. Don't be flashing. You want to do it on the racetrack, not in your lights, you little rascals. So there we go. And of course, Liliorde now going up with Miles Owens. So still battles developing at the front as well as the back end of the field here.
There you are, they're under attack. Like you said, but Miles Owens is for P8 in the race at the moment. Of course, all these drivers coming through from the back of that top 15 after the reverse grid starts. 10 minutes gone now in this race, James. And, well, it's been a classic so far. It's been great racing. Well, top to bottom, and especially down there in the AMs from P18 all the way down to P24. It's from P4 all the way down to P13. We're all within a second of each other, and that's what we like to see here.
Yeah, great racing developing. You can see Babbage Pierce now involved as well with Rakowski. Oh, you're on a straight!
Gentlemen!
And ladies. Gentlemen and ladies, Jess Rakowski. let's not forget that one. Dan, I'm sure she won't be too happy. Oh, Babbage! And Rakowski, look at the pirouettes on the grass. Both of them did them together there, and I've got a funny feeling Dan Babbage may have to be doing a little bit of apology here as well. You can see him in the right-hand side there. He comes on the grass, comes back too far, hits Mikey Pierce on the straight, and round Jess Rakowski goes from what was Mikey Pierce and Dan Babbage causing the initial problem as he's trying to make his way through up past Austin Draper. Not an ideal move from Dan Babbage there, and I think, questions might be asked.
Yeah, and now he's, Liliore under attack. I think that's his teammate under attack now by Miles Owens. If we can, though, James, I would like to go on board, because it looked like he was on the grass, and he kept his foot in it, and when he came back onto the track, all of a sudden, let's listen. Yeah, difficult one. I think the car...
What was difficult about it?
I think he lost the car on the grass. Then still, yeah. Well, no, he's turning to the left. No.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay, cool. Well done. We come to agreements that Gavin Pay's going here alongside Gary McFarlane. Both of these from the DCW Racing stable, I'm going to say, as it's DCW Racing Blue with Gavin Pay and DCW Racing Faulkner PC with Gary McFarlane there as well, who's battling in 17th at the moment, 7th overall in class. Gibbon still being chased down by Engelstad and still doing a great job in the Mercedes. The problem is, as we know, the race goes on, Mercedes gets a little bit bambi on ice, a little bit slippery. So, you know, from that perspective, is Gibbons going to hang on from this Aston Martin?
He's been doing great so far to hang on to the position where he is so far. So I would say with the defending that he's done already, you would be crazy if you voted against him. The only thing that he's losing is that toe, and that is so important on the straight because that's going to make him vulnerable to the cars behind him. And at the moment, we can see that effect happening. The Aston Martin tucked up in that slipstream, gaining slowly but surely, goes towards the outside of turn 1, tries to brake late, but it's not going to be quite enough for Weston or Engelstad, who it is behind. This is for the lead in the AM class. Engelstad going to try and make his way around the outside. He will have the better exit though, coming onto the straight.
Yeah, you can see Tom Weston closing in behind him here. He's not really wanting to get involved in this AM fight. Engelstad and Gibbons battling away for the lead. Gibbons is going to have the inside for turn 4. What I would do is run it out a little bit wide, open up the steering, give him something to think about. It looks like he may have done that. I've got a funny feeling Engelstad now has lost that position to Tom Weston. And Weston does make it through. You can see in the background it's almost 3 wide with Miles Owens, Robert Stoughton and Chris Barnes. Thought about it there. Miles Owens goes through. Stoughton still here sitting in third in the AMs at the moment as well, and he's being chased down by Chris Barnes, the man who's up 13 places in race 1. But Stein Beeman has cleared and got away from Torno Oromets. Rachel Hoff looks like she's had a little bit of a ta-ta-ta. Could well be here, and I believe that may have been Torbjörn Mel behind her as Rachel goes in. Whoa. Locks up hard there, Dan. Like literally full stops the car at one point.
Yeah, that's not something I'm used to from these GT4s. I just kept braking it. Ooh, I reckon that his slowdown might be the reason, because that happened. Else, I don't have really have any explanation for why.
No,
that happened.
I don't get the hard break in there as well. John O'Cook in YouTube chat, you told me flashing is only for trench coats in playgrounds. Yes, that was one of my finer commentary moments.
Oh, James.
in season 1.
Blimey. That is... Oh, goodness me.
Well,
Most of the compilations.
yeah, I was getting involved in the action when I lost what I said, and I turned around and it was flashing. It was only for trench coats in
I
playgrounds.
lost my set, really.
I lost what was going on. Stu Race is trying to get past Chris Evans from both of these guys from the Triple P stable. Kim Andre Bjortland is in and Dan Babbage is in. They've now got to go half an hour, which is just about manageable on the 50% fuel. And Jess Rakowski battling away with Mike Pierce. Of course, they did have that contact coming together there once more. So for Rakowski, it's great to see her still going. And now we've got Lily Orde, who's having a nice little battle with Mikey Pollard here. Pollard trying to get through. Lily Orde manages to hang on. He's now got Engelstadt, Weston and Gibbons in front of him, with Simnar opening up about 5.3 second lead here. I would say it's tough, but I think that pit stop brings in a different dimension, Dan. You know, for Richard Simnar, you know, speeding in the pits, missing your pit box, fluffing up your entry and exit. It's all possibilities, isn't it?
It's a different aspect of racing that you'll have to practice. And is this Liliorde into the pits? No. He took a very tight line, as you're used to there, trying to minimize the distance traveled over that straight. Liliorde defending the inside towards Pollard, our race winner and our defending champion, coming through in the 73. He's going to try and tighten up the exit for Liliorde. That's going to work like a treat. But the exit for Liliorde, somehow, a great one.
Yeah, he did. He kept his foot in there as well. Of course, Pollard finished second in last season's championship with Simnor, taking the victory. So there we go. It's great action developing here as well. Liliorde hanging on for dear life. He's trying to go forward as well as look behind. And as we know, that's never easy, down with the fact when you're in that middle position, trying to look behind you, trying to go forward, trying to defend and attack. It just doesn't work. Ask Man United. They've tried it all season. It just doesn't work for them either. For Liliorde, it's going to be tough, right?
Don't touch Ten Hag. That's all I want to say. We're proud of him, though. Well, I agree, though.
Proud of who?
You can't disagree. Let's be honest. You can't disagree.
Proud of Ten Hag, but Man United in relegation battlers.
Miles Owens coming through as well.
Yeah, Liliorde did lose that place to Pollard. He's now got Owens trying to make the move. Owens is going to tighten up Shun Cow here. I'm surprised he hasn't dived up the inside. I thought the move was on. It isn't. And now Owens has also got Stotton behind in that McLaren. The only difference between the GT4 and the GT3 McLaren is you don't quite see the flames coming out of the GT4 like you do out of the GT3. You know what I mean? I can always imagine just roasting marshmallows out the back of the GT3. I'm not going to lie.
Especially during an endurance race at night. It's well, it brings you some beautiful pictures. Let's put it like that.
It does. It's a great little car. And to be fair, the GT4 version is the only McLaren I own. I don't actually own the GT3 version. I've got the GT4, but I've never ever driven it, as Tom Weston has cleared Stu Gibbons. Gibbons has now got Engelstadt batting alongside him, coming down the Aposta now, coming into turn 4. Gibbons is on the inside. He can send it in a little bit deep, and as we know, there he's going to get given the room by Engelstadt. Now he can open up the steering, squeeze Engelstadt out again, and that's probably the right thing. I know everybody, went at Max for doing it with Lewis, but I would do the same. I would open up the steering if somebody's on my inside as well, and just give him something to think about on the outside there.
And then again, Sergio Perez opened up the steering to land on Norris, and that was declared a penalty, which I also, couldn't really understand, but some people understood it. It's a very vague part of racing rules, and you have to leave a car's width. Well, as long as the driver on the outside can still take the corner without leaving the track, I would say it's a legal move.
I agree. I do agree. I think it's an area that needs to be really looked at, as Rachel Hoff and Torbjörn Mel have had another coming together here. I'm wondering if Rachel Hoff has done the same thing, because it's on the run up into the Veradora. No, Mel was on the inside. Can't come closing the door. Got a funny feeling Mel was already there.
No,
no.
I disagree.
Oh,
I disagree.
I agree with you. I disagree with myself on that call. I got that completely wrong now. Mel was just going way too hot into Rachel off, and unfortunately for Rachel, around they go. Stu Rice, Chris Evans battling away quite nicely here with Rob Williams, who's further up in the Triple P. It's Triple Blade, Triple Blade Gamma, Triple P1 and Triple P3 filling the middle spots. I know, say that when you're drunk. I just couldn't do it even when I'm sober, to be honest. But these guys battling out with a DCW of Gavin Petty, who has gone past Stu Rice and has now got Chris Evans in next in firing line here as well. But Miles Owens still getting onto the back of this Engelstadt, Gibbons and Pollard battle, and Pollard has done well to clear Engelstadt and Gibbons, and they've not left each other alone for the first 22 minutes.
No, that's great racing at the front of the AM class. Third in the AM class is Robert Stoughton at the moment in the McLaren. He's in P12 overall. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of Williams. But the battles all over the field has slowed down a bit. That's usually what we see the longer the race goes on. But from P6 all the way down to P10, they're all within a battle, and all that train you can see on your screen right now. Yeah,
Owens now has got to run over Engelstadt. He should have there as well. Going around Sabino onto that sort of long left-hander before we go on to the start-finish straight. If you're going to cover off the inside, Engelstadt, you've got to make it decisive. You didn't. Owens is going to come through in that Aston Martin. Is he going to make the corner for turn one? Late on the brakes, he's going to go. He's going to hook it up. They're going to run too wide, going into the entrance of the center S's. Owens leaving room. He's coming. He's coming. Oh! And that is exactly what we were talking about from Engelstadt. He opened up the steering and then backed away from it. And then that's what the result of it was. He ended up losing both positions there as well, as Pollard has just cleared Western. It could be team orders, the fact that Pollard's got through. But for Engelstadt there, that was a problem, Dan. He opened it up coming out of the center S's, but didn't quite open it up enough. And then he tried to turn back because the car was alongside, scrubbed his speed off and went down 2 positions away from Stu Gibbons.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was also smart driving by Miles. He made sure that the entry into turn 2 for Engelstadt was as tight as possible, thus giving Engelstadt a worse exit. So it's a bit of both. It wasn't Engelstadt himself who only opened up the steering. His corner was just really tight, so he couldn't really make it. So he had to eventually back out of it. And, well, that's just smart driving by both of them, and also great respect between the two, because Engelstadt could have kept his foot in and pushed Miles off the road.
Oh, Chris Evans! Evans! Was this all on his own? He's coming up to Pico de Palo, the right-hander, brake by the tree. There we go. I think that's too much on the brakes for Evans going in there. And unfortunately for him, he has gone around. Barnes has gone into the pits with 21 minutes on the clock. Let's see what he can do. He's the first one out of the top 15 to pit here as we are on the roof of Engelstadt, chasing down Liliore with Owens, with Gibbons, with Weston, with Pollard in front of us. Great little developments is going to happen now at the pits. What do you do, Dan? Do you run your car until you dry before you come in? Or do you try and come in and undercut it as much as you can?
The problem is when you try and undercut it is that you're heavier for a certain amount of times than the cars around you. If you feel, however, that you've got half a second to a second over the guys ahead of you, which is a train, and at the moment we can see that from P6 all the way down to P10, if you think that you're half a second to a second quicker than those guys a lap, it could pay off to undercut. So it really depends, I think, what position you're in. If you're similar, you're going to try and make it towards the end of your fuel tank. You're going to try and run that car almost dry and then come into the pits because you don't want to lose any time in traffic. But I could see Miles or Liliorde here making an early pit stop because they know they might be half a second to a second quicker than the drivers and the cars ahead of them. So like I say, it really depends what position you're in at the time of making that decision. However, Miles has just gotten past Gibbons, I think.
Yeah, Gibbons made a mistake coming out of the corner there, unfortunately for Stu Gibbons, and now he's going to be losing that position to Miles Owens. Is he going to lose a position to Liliorde? He is. He's not silly as the blades of the man. He's going to tuck in now right behind Liliorde and resume his battle with Engelstadt, who's behind it. Stotton is in the pits here once more. Where's Chris Barnes going to come out? Gavin Petty's just gone in as well. Barnes is on that run out of Juncal. We've still got Stotton in the pit lane at the moment. He's going to be stationary for at least another 20 seconds. Is he going to lose his place to Barnes? This could be very, very close here with Chris Barnes. How is he going to get on once more? And is he going to clear Stotton? Stotton's on his way now. He's on his bike. He's on his way out. Is he going to be able to get him, though, Dan? I've got a funny feeling it's going to be close here for Barnes, as they're going to be coming out near enough. I would have thought if Stotton could get on the power, literally tucked up, not far at all, to be fair. So that didn't work out too bad for Robert Stotton.
He's just about got him, though. But I think he definitely has gained time on him. That's one thing, that's for sure. He's now within 1.2 seconds of Chris Barnes, who is the car out of him. P17 he came out in. And, well, pit stop still to be made from the whole top 8. And, well, we're awaiting those in the Pro Class. Simner, Veinman, Crowder, Pollard, Weston, Owens, Liliorde. We're all waiting them to make a pit stop. But as it looks like at the moment, there you can see it, the whole top 15 still having to make a pit stop. Barnes at the moment leading those who have.
Yeah, he has. He's now going to get on his bike a little bit. He's got to try and do some of this pace that we saw at the beginning. He was up like 14 positions, I think, before he went in here for Chris Barnes, so he can't afford to make any more mistakes. He's got to get onto the back of people, use their draft like he is now with Anderson. He's got to try and use him as best as he can and try and use him to draft him, because every little tenth is going to help Barnes here. Nobody else has still gone in front of him. It is all what Barnes is. Get off your lights, Barnsley. Do it on track. He's just tuck up behind him here as well. Anderson will run it all the way down. Is he going to go into the pits? He is for Barnes. He wants to make sure he doesn't. He used him as much as he possibly could there. You can see Mikey Pierce go in behind as well. So now for Pierce, is he going to try and undercut some of the people in front of him here, Dan? Because he had that option being so far back.
Yeah, well, the thing, of course, is for Barnes, he has to think about the long term now. If there's anyone around him that he needs to fight, it's eventually going to slow down his overall race pace. So if he can stay in clean air for as long as possible, and look at that, an 8.8 second gap at the moment for Barnes, which opens up to 9. That is what he wants. He wants to use that full potential of that car at the moment, and that is what you need to do once you make that undercut. It's difficult, however, though, when you're in a race and you've got no one telling you where you're going to come out to kind of judge where you're going to come out. You can only see so much in your relative. You don't really know how much you're going to lose in the pits. So it's difficult if you're on your own, but if you know where you're going to come out and you know you're going to come out in a good spot of clean air, and you can use the pace of that car, it's definitely worth stopping early.
Yeah, he's in the same place about where he is now. Oromets has just gone in and has not stopped yet. And Barnes is literally near enough where he was for Robert Stotton behind him. So for Tom Barnes, it could be a possibility, with Gibbons not even stopping either at the moment. Crowver's in, Oromets is in. It's possible here for Barnes that he's going to make up positions on that run through Sabino the boxes. Oromets is just on his way out again. I think he might be Barnesy a little bit far back for that one, but he's got the option of picking off Rice. He's got the option of picking off Gibbons here if he can. Can he get Crowver? I think Crowver again is a little bit too far. But he's made up some positions and he's still got people in front, the likes of Tom Bingham.
Gibbons, though.
Yeah, he got Gibbons, but he's got Bingham and McFarlane fighting out. And for Barnesy, he's not that far. So it's possible, Barnesy could clear Bingham, McFarlane, and Williams, and maybe even Engelstadt and Liliorde. So for Barnes, it could work out going in when he did.
Oh, that's a car going slow. That's a Mercedes going slow on the outside. Is that someone letting through traffic?
Yeah,
or is
Chris
that a
Evans.
problem?
No, Chris Evans lap down at the moment here as well. He obviously had that spin, didn't he, in that Merc where he went into Bico too hot with Stuart Rice and he spun that up, the Merc. So Yeah, that's where Evans is at the moment. Callum Ilam, he's coming. Ooh, I'm crying over here, says Callum Ilam as well. Not bad. He's obviously, the football game is obviously not that good there, Dan, if he's spending time in YouTube chat.
Yeah, must agree. It probably is very boring, isn't it? When 22 men try to chase down a ball, and when they've got it, they try to get it away from them again.
Well, that's one way of looking at football.
James is in shambles.
That's one way of looking at football, I suppose. 22 men chasing it, and 22 men, when they get it, they try and get it off them. Bob Barnes, is he going to be able to clear Williams? Is he going to clear Liliorde? Liliorde's on his way out. Is Barnes going to get close enough? This could be tight here. I think Anders Liliorde is hanging on. I think he might just about hang on. I'm trying to look. I don't know why I'm trying to look above the picture there, because I'm not going to be able to see Liliorde at all because the camera doesn't allow me to.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
Yeah, there is Liliorde. He did manage to get out from Barnes, who has got Robert Stotton even closer for company than he did have last time. And Gary McFarlane has got Tom Bingham, who's just running side by side at this moment in time as well on that run up through the Panorama into SA at the top part of the circuit. The right-hander here as well. McFarlane does make it through over Bingham. So great job from McFarlane in that DCW Racing Falconer PC team there as well. They got rid of the bright yellow, which I'm not entirely happy about. And they've got more of a, I don't know, goldy colour, I suppose, as Bingham's now gone up the inside. He's taken the place back as well. Both of these men have still got to pit here, Dan. Pit stops at the moment. Well, on the left-hand side, you can see Tora Oromets is the first of the top 9 to make the pit stops. So for Oromets, this could actually work out. I think he's going to clear Engelstadt. How far is he behind Weston? 20 seconds. So, Maths Dan, is he going to make it?
Well, I've done this before, and I'm not going to do it again. That's quite a while ago, and I still have PTSD from it. So let's not go and do pit stop maths again. We'll leave it. We'll leave it where it is at the moment.
Why is that, Dan? What happened at Road America?
Well, I tried to calculate the time that was lost in pit lane. And I calculated the time that someone was in pit lane, and I just subtracted that from the time that the particular driver was behind. Of course, forgetting the fact that you're still moving half of the time. You're not standing still for the complete whatever seconds it might be in pit lane. So I did get my calculations wrong. And I was so sure of it. I don't know what I put on it, but I was so sure that he was going to be ahead. Turned out he wasn't. So let's not do that again.
No. Let's not listen to Dan People's maths, because it never did quite work out there either, as McFarlane and Crowther are battling it out. For Crowther, he does not want this from McFarlane. McFarlane has not even gone in, and as far as Crowther's concerned, he could do with him jumping out the way, because for Crowther, he's got Liliorde tucked up right behind him here, and he really needs him out as the top 3, 4, 5 have gone into the pits. Where is Oromets going to come out on all of this? Is he going to come out the shining light here, Dan, do we think? Do we think that Oromets could be in with a good old jump as he's coming down past some of these guys as well? He's got Pollard, Veman, Owens, Weston. Simnon's on his way out, so he's not going to get him. Veman's on his way out. What about Weston? He's not moving yet. Pollard's now moving as well. And for Oromets, he's jumped himself up into 4th place. Maybe even 3rd, depending on how he comes out of centre S's. Is he going to get Pollard on the exit? He's not. Pollard might have just hang on there, but Oromets sees himself bouncing all the way up into 4th.
I think that was where Pollard was before he started making the pit stops, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, definitely closer to Pollard ahead of him. So that has worked out. Miles coming out of the pit lane. That's a fight with Crowther. I think Crowther gets ahead to the apex. Going to try and make his way around the outside. The better exit for Crowther as well. And I think if he can keep that inside, James, that's moved on.
Yeah, I think so as well, as Phil across the pond there. I think your mic just packed up. Really? It's still moving on the screen that I need it to be moving on. Not entirely sure there, but Crowther and Owens having a battle out together. All sounds gone on the stream.
Oh. Oh. That's not great. Well, you sound fine to me.
Thanks, mate. You know what I mean? Just you, Phil, as I can hear. Yeah, everything's still moving, Phil. The bars are still flashing. They're going.
Has he not just put it on mute?
Possibly. I can hear everything. Thank you, Callum. That's made me feel a little bit better. As Crowther and Owens going at it once more here. An Aston Martin, a Mercedes and a Porsche. Liliorde right behind him. Robert Stotton is still on the grass with Barnes. This is Gibbon. He did jump Gibbo though, because Gibbons was battling with Engelstadt, and Engelstadt managed to get out in front of him. All good for me, says Paddy Faulkner. So maybe it is just you, Phil. You've hit the mute button. Sat on the remote control, dear sir.
Well, if he has, you can't hear us now.
No. But how does he...
Yeah, how does he know?
Yeah, how does he know he can't hear us? If he can't
Someone
hear
let
us?
him know in chat.
Yeah, tell Phil that everything's fine for everybody. He's sat on the remote control. I know he can't hear me, Callum. I'm just saying, how does he know he's lost... Never mind. I give up. Dan, over to you.
Well, Liliorde is trying to get Crowther now. He certainly hasn't given up, James. In front of Crowther is Owens. This is for a top 5 position. Owens has got that train behind him. Liliorde wants to get past Crowther. Both of them are going to run side by side into turn 6. The inside favourite here for Crowther. Liliorde is going to try and hang it around the outside. Well, you can cut so much of that inside curb of the next right-hander here. See how much they cut. See if they use all of it. Yeah, that's definitely 4 tires over the white line for Deck Crowther. But you can do that. You've got to use all of the track available to you. But something's telling me, though, James, that Liliorde has just got more pace. He's using less of the track available to him, and he's still keeping up with Crowther.
Yeah, well, ignores Callum Island's comment there as well, where you are constantly commentating, so it's odd when you go quiet for a corner. I don't really know what to say about that. As Crowther now is chasing down Miles Owens as we go on to the roof of that Mercedes. That old sun's bright on the right-hand side there as well. Now, is this where Crowther's going to make the move? Is he going to be able to come up the inside? Is Owens going to hug that wall? He is. He should come over to the left. I would. Don't leave a gap. You know, Crowther's going to go for it as they're going to come down into turn 1 here as well. Going into the first corner out of the center S's. They're going to come on the bottom right-hand corner now. Now they're going to go left, run it onto that red Araposta. This could be Crowther's opportunity here, Dan. It looks like he's having a nice little battle overall.
He definitely got the exit he needed. The gap is less than 1/10 of a second. Miles Owens moving to the inside very late. The outside now for Deck Crowther. He has to watch out that in this battle, it's not going to be Liliorde trying to capitalize on it, because that's what usually happens. If you're side by side, that's off the track. For Crowther, he'll get an off track for that, but he'll keep his momentum going. And that doesn't allow Liliorde to get up the inside of him. Does allow him to take the outside for turn 6 again. Miles Owens defends that once again. The inside is open though for Deck Crowther. Set that up nicely. Is he going to get it though?
He's going to try and send his nose up on the inside. Liliorde is going to capitalise as well. You can see the Mercedes just got a little bit squirrely as Crowther started putting the tyres down here on that run up into Pico, the right-hander. Crowther still climbing all over Owens. He's going to try and cut back and get that run out of Mugello, down through Mugello if he can. Now the left-hander, here we go. Owens coming into Juncao. He's got to sit in behind him. Surely here, Dan, he's got to sit in behind him before he can make that move. I'm running up into the turn 1 here. I would use a draft on Miles Owens now as much as I physically can. I wouldn't have made the move into Juncao like Crowther didn't.
The problem is when you make that move into Juncao, you basically slow yourself and Miles Owens down, and probably Liliorde is going to run away with it. So he has to think about that too. I think Liliorde is actually closer to the back of Crowther than Crowther is to Owens. That slipstream not looking as powerful in these cars as I expected it to be, James.
No, it's not really your open wheel, is it really? It's not your super formulas. I've got to say, your super formulas, they got the push to pass button as well. It's not your F3s where you've got all the downforce in the world and they're pulling you along and you get through. You know what I mean? He just kind of almost looked like he just hit a wall of air when he did try and go for it. And it was like hitting a brick wall for Crowther. He had nothing on the end. So whatever Crowther's got to do, he clearly can't remain in the draft. Owens is going to go to the right-hand side. Crowther's going to do the same. Liliorde is going to try and run around the outside. outside, get a little bit squeezed by Crowther there. As you can see in the background there, Weston and Engelstadt having a battle, and Bingham and also Rice fighting out further down. Still battles developing, but at the moment it's all about what Miles Owens is going to do. If he slows these guys down enough, he might be able to put them into the battle with Engelstadt and Weston behind him to try and give himself a bit of a break. Dan, is that something that would be looked at?
Well, I think Miles is trying to utilize the full pace of that car. I think he's got enough trouble trying to keep them behind them as it is. So I don't think he's going to purposely or on purpose slow them down to try and get them to fight with the guys behind them. If it does happen eventually, which it looks like it is, because they're within a second of Lille, so they will pick up that toe. But I don't think he's going to do it on purpose. He has his hands full and his mirrors full of that Mercedes, of that Crowther. And I don't think he wants that Mercedes any closer than it is at the moment.
No, he definitely doesn't. Crowther's trying to get hold of him once more. There was a bit of a controversy about Crowther, whether or not he was a pro, whether or not he was an AM. I stuck him in an AM, and then Chris Barnes, his own teammate, messaged me and said, James, he's not in the right class, he should be a pro. So I moved into pro. And then, of course, Crowther popped up and said, why am I in pro? I said, blame your teammate. He told me to put you there. So that had nothing to do with me whatsoever. Chris Barnes messaged me like, Crowther's a little bit too quick for AMs, James. I was like, all right, we'll put him in pros then. So that's what we did.
There we go.
And
Deck Crowther trying to pick up an easy championship. Didn't work for him in the end.
Yeah, stitched up by his own teammate. So there you go. Nothing about love lost behind them on as well. I want to check on what's happening down here with Tom Bingham and Stu Rice. They've been swapping positions a couple of times as well. I think this is like the third time they've swapped positions. It looks like they've gone again. So these two having a good old little battle and a good old ding dong further down in the AMs, of course, fighting it out. So battles all the way through the field, which is absolutely amazing to see. And this is for 5th and 6th in the AMs, while you still got Crowther and Lille going at each other. And then you got Mikey Pierce is trying to get past Gary McFarlane currently at the moment as well. And we know how hard he made that one when Crowther got up behind him. So it ain't going to be easy for Pierce to try and get past McFarlane here, is it? Because McFarlane did make it a little bit difficult for Crowther when it was all going on.
Yeah, well, that's what he was looking at the time. Still is, because the battle between them is still on. Crowther and Lille still close behind Miles Owens. This is the battle that we're looking at for P12 in the AM class. And both of these guys, let's be honest here, James, they've got pace to be further up the field, but both of them have been unlucky in this race. And let's hope that they won't take any of that into the fight that they have at the moment. Miles Owens, the inside is for him. And he defends that once again. Miles Owens is, well, withstood a lot of pressure here, but the pressure is getting to him. At the moment I was saying that, he goes wide. And that has set him up beautifully for Deck Crowther. Once again, he's shown the outside. And I don't think he's going to be able to hang it round there. He's going to look for the inside for turn 7. But once again, Miles Owens defends that. But you can see the pressure's getting to him. Only, I think, one more lap left after this one.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, 135. But where is Simnar? He's coming up around Sabino de boxes. So it is going to be Simnar taking the white flag here for the final lap from the opening race of the season. I'm not seeing any Barney, which was a little bit worrying, but I'm going to say it is the final lap here as well. What about Crowther still chasing down on Owens? He's still trying to give him a go. Can he get through on this final lap, though? It just doesn't look like he's had the pace going, though. That's the problem. He just doesn't look like he's got the almost.
Well, it's also how Miles has been able to defend him. He's also going to get the white flag now. Once again, the inside. He's been closer than he's been ever before on this point of the track. He's going to try and tighten up that exit for Miles, and he's gone a bit deep. So has the Mercedes of Crowther, though, and that's the savior for Miles. If Crowther was able to just take that corner normally, know that Miles was going to overshoot it a bit, I think this would have been his chance, but it looks like this is going to be his last chance. Well, before we get to the front straight again.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's going to be able to get him, to be honest. I don't think there's anyone, there's any place left on the circuit for him. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult, I think, for Crowther. I think it's going to be just going to have to send it and hope for the best and see whether or not he can make it through here once more. Simnor's now coming round the final couple of corners. We'll see him over the line. Richard Simnor is going to wrap this one up. He's going to do a stellar job. He's going to take the victory in race 2. That reverse pole, although race 1 didn't quite go to plan, race 2 has. He's taken it here as well, and it is an AI race summaries 1, 2, 3, as it's Venman, Simnor and Pollard there as well. So a great job from him. And Tristan Engelstadt's going to come over in the AMS as well, looking like he's going to take the victory in the AMS as well. So great night for Engelstadt. 2 podiums there, Dan. Not a bad way to open up your season.
That's great. That's how you want to open up that season. You don't need to win every race, as long as you just be consistent. I think this is Liliordi under attack, isn't it? Yes, it is. Liliordi under attack from Engelstad. He doesn't quite get him, but he gets the win in the AM class, and that's eventually what he was looking for. So Robert Stoughton gets second, and Stuart Gibbons just about is able to get P4. Quite close, though, towards the end of that race to Robert Stoughton.
Yeah, absolutely. You see everybody else is a little bit more spread out. They are going to line up here as well.
Oh, goodness me.
Some people have...
almost went wrong.
Yeah, I believe that may have been Deck Crowther who might have missed that one. He did, for poor old Deck as well. Missed the lineup that we are doing, of course, for our very own Craig Jones. We'll just wait for Austin Draper to come through, and hopefully he will be... Where is he at the moment? He's coming down into Juncal with Rakowski. So they have stopped out on the circuit, and we will just be doing a little lineup there as well. Don't forget, get your hashtag Keep Fighting Craigs in YouTube chat, please, as well, as we are doing this in, obviously, for our friend, my friend, my admin, a Clio driver here as well. He's done great work for BDLV. He's done a lot as Craig Jones for me, and you know, we were talking the night before and everything else before this horrible incident that happened there as well. So thank you so much to all of these guys, as they are all running round now as well, doing their pace lap for Craig. So if you are watching Craig, I know your Gemma was going to try and put it to you and see what you can do and see if it helps. So yeah, keep fighting, Craig. We're all waiting for you to get back to us here as well. So much love to you all there once more as they come round in unison for Craig. So much love to all of these guys here as well. Thank you so much for this one. It's been a tough few days for everybody in the JPB community with this sudden news on Monday that Craig did have a cardiac arrest at home, was in... Well, he is in hospital, I should say. He's in a coma, and obviously it's a tough time for Gemma, his wife, and Elliot and Kyan, his 2 boys as well. So hopefully we should start seeing progress with Craig, and we'll see him hopefully getting back home where primarily he belongs, and then we can see how he's going to be with obviously joining us on the racing circuit again in the new year. Hopefully we'll have him back fighting, and he's still fighting away in it's QA, Queen Alexandra Hospital in Portsmouth there as well. So I will be down there, going down again on Friday to see him, as I was down there yesterday as well. So great support from everyone in the JPB community here down. It's been tough for us all this week.
Yeah, I've had something quite similar happen recently. It was as well, and it puts your whole world upside down all of a sudden. But it's great to see everyone who is thinking of him, and well, let's try and find a bit of positive, and that's that he's still with us, and that there is progression, that he is slowly but surely getting better, and progression is always better than none. So let's hope that he he will progress so far that he can be back with us, racing on track again.
Yeah, absolutely. As all of these guys are lining up here as well. So keep fighting, Craig. You're loved. You're missed. Let's get you back on track, buddy, and get you back with us here as well. So much love to all of these guys who have done this, and stellar job. So thank you very much for all of this one as well. Can't really say any more. Really, it's been
difficult to find words for us, as always.
Yeah, it's been tough. Yeah, it's been tough for everyone. It's shock, basically, more than anything else. 36 years of age, for this to happen to him and his family, it's tough. So hopefully we'll be back and back with us fighting. So you know what I mean. But yeah, great job.
And also, I would say, James, let this be a reminder to everyone that every second in this beautiful world that we have counts. Yeah, never leave when you're angry at someone or something like that. Let this be more than a message to only for Greg, but for everyone. I think that's also important.
Yeah, I fully agree. I do fully agree. You know, don't forget, ring your mums up, tell her you love her, because you never know when the moments come. But let's wrap up the results from race 2 and keep fighting, Craig. We all love you, buddy, and hopefully see you back on track soon. Richard Simnar is your winner with Stein Beeman and Mikey Pollard, the 1, 2, 3 in the pros. The AI RaceSummaries.com teams wrapping up the first 3. Then Torno Orometz, great job in that BMW, taking 4th. with Miles Owens in 5th. Deck Crowther 6th. Anders Liliode in 7th. Tristan Engelstad taking the win in the AMS. Tom Weston and Chris Barnes in 9th and 10th. And then Robert Stotton and Stu Gibbons wrapping up the podium in the AMS there as well. Gavin Petty, Kim Andre Bjortland, Rob Williams, Tom Bingham and Stu Rice coming in 17th. Dan Babich, Gary McFarlane, Tom Anderson, Torbjörn Miao, Jess Rakowski, Mike Pierce, Chris Evans, Rachel Hoff and Austin Draper there as well. So thank you so much to all of these guys as well. We'll have a chat with Stu Rice, who has come into the booth. Stu, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
Pretty decent the first race. Could have been better though.
Well,
okay, as you.
Let's go to the second race, can we?
Yeah.
What happened?
In all honesty, it happened. I think that's the best way I can explain it. Every single lap I did after that, I did in the exact same way. No issue. I'd assume it was just slightly cold tyres and I clipped the curb a little bit too much, which, believe me, has annoyed me no end. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with leading for a lap. Just holding a full lap. I'm happy with that at least and getting a decent start. So I can take positives away from it. So that's something positive there.
Yeah, and you definitely did as well. We've had discussions this week about the AM Championship, you know, about the fact that it's going to be close at the top. What do you think is likely to happen? Because there's some good drivers here. There's some good battles that could develop. And I think overall it could be a very interesting season in the AMs this season.
It could. A lot of the grids basically split by a second, if not pushing on 2. And I think given just the spread of talent in the field, it's actually a pretty decent field overall. That being said, there is one thing I have a little bit of a gripe with, if you'll allow me to mention one thing. I'm not going to be annoyed at anything, and just something I feel I need to mention. Because my teammate a few times in that race was, through no fault of her own, multiple times just completely sent. I think people do need to realise it's the first races. It isn't the last race of the season, and it pros and dams I won't name because I'm not that type of person. I don't believe in calling people out specifically. But yeah, I think the main thing is people just not sending it from 5 miles back. It's a respectful request rather than an annoyance. I know I could probably say a lot of worse things, but I choose not to because, you know, there's no point in getting annoyed. It's just a case of live and learn and move on, I guess.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, it happens over the first couple of races, Stu.
Yeah.
I think we know that from seasons gone by in the Clios and the GT4s, and we're bringing people together, and, we've got new people in here this season as well. I think overall, taking that away, though, the racing was really good, and I think that going into this season is going to be a very exciting season.
It absolutely will. I mean, based on the racing just there, even if I hadn't spun myself out, I probably would have been caught by a fair chunk of people, and then it would have been absolute battling constantly. And even the first race, as AMs, I could still see the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows that we're going to have a proper season if everyone keeps racing as they have been, because that's, just got to hope the whole grid stays for the whole season, because if they do, it will be one hell of a ride through the whole thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Stu, thank you so much for joining me. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Of course, I'm going to shout out Craig, because I have to, and genuinely just keep fighting Craig at the end of the day. That's all I can really say. I think that's the person I want to shout out this time.
Yeah. Been tough times for everybody. And still tough times. But Stu, thanks so much for joining me there, bud. And we'll look forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Take care. Well, next up, we're going to have your defending champion, the man who took the win in the race 2, finished down in the 8th for race 1, but capitalised from the reverse grid. Richard Simnor, welcome in, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Just wanted to start saying, keep fighting Craig. We're all thinking about him, and thanks to you as well. You're an absolute bloody legend this week, going in and out of hospital and looking after him. So, yeah, hopefully we get some good news soon. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
it just gets me stone. It just
no worries, mate. No worries.
It bites me every time.
Yeah, you're an absolute legend, mate. But the race today, I mean, sprint race, I just thought, full send. Andy Jones keeps moaning at me for not going for moves, so I thought I'd go for a few. And one of them nearly made it, and then the second one didn't really make it. So yeah, have to try these things. But it was good to fight back up to a respectable position from there. And then, yeah, as you say, capitalise on the reverse. The reverse pole, there's some good drivers in front of me, didn't want to fight too hard, so thanks to them really, got out in front, built a lead, and the rest is history. But it was exciting. I think the format's great this year. I think it's going to bring up some really interesting results, and got to fight for it. Really got to fight for it.
Yeah, you definitely have bait as well, and looking forward to seeing how this season goes, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I would ask you, do you want to shout out anyone, Rich, while you're here?
No, that is my shout out, mate.
I did figure that out, mate. I wasn't quite sure what I was saying.
Can't quite state it enough, but yeah, obviously we're all thinking about him, and I hope he makes a full recovery, mate.
Awesome stuff. Well, Rich, thanks so much for joining us there, bud, and we'll catch up soon, eh?
Okay, cheers.
Take care. Next up on the interview is one of our new joiners this season, Mr. Tom Bingham, fighting away in the AMS here as well. Tom, welcome in. How are you?
Not too bad. Enjoying getting back into sim racing after a bit of a break, but yeah, how are you?
I'm all right. It's been a tough week, I think, for everybody, I think. But yeah, it's been a tough week, mate. I'm good. Overall, how was the racing for you, Tom? Did you enjoy yourself? You got involved in that incident in race 2 right at the beginning. Did you sit back and think, oh dear, or what was the thoughts going through your head?
Yeah, I sort of knew it was going to happen, to be honest, because the two guys in front were getting a bit aggressive with each other, and that's quite a narrow section through there into turn 1, kind of turn 2, isn't it? And I just thought I'm going to take it easy, see if I can avoid it, and unfortunately I went the wrong way and got pinned in against the side of I think it was Kim's car. So could have been worse. At least my car wasn't written off or anything like that, so I was able to claw my way back up the grid.
Yeah, you definitely did that, mate, and you know it was a great start for you. Looking forward to how the season goes.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, at least I'm still kind of fairly competitive in the AM, so that's something nice to be able to get back on the sim and realise that you're not as slow as you think you are. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just trying to keep it consistent, really, and work my way up and hopefully fight for a championship once again.
Yeah, it should be good seeing how you get on here, Tom. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just the Performance Link guys. Yourselves, obviously, for the fantastic broadcasting you do, and all the other guys that were on the grid tonight. And unfortunate for Kim with his accident, and and anybody else that knows me.
Awesome stuff. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us there, bud, and I look forward to seeing how you get on over the season.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Care. Tom Bingham there joining us as well, so much love to him. Dan, interesting round one. The rest of the seasons could be quite interesting as it goes on.
For sure, this was a great opener, and if this round is anything to go by, well, you definitely do not want to miss any of the other rounds.
Yeah, you definitely don't as well. We're going to wrap this up this evening here.
Once again, James, though, before we wrap it up, Interlagos has provided again.
Yeah, it definitely has. I fully agree. It has done a great job, provided some great epic racing. Stick with us as we go next week as well. We'll bring you up the schedule once more on the screen. We're off to Barber Motorsports Park Full Circuit next week in the GT4, so join us for that one. There's some more epic racing there as well. Don't forget the Keep Fighting Craig. Put it down in the comments below, hashtag it wherever you are, tag me and whatever are us at JPB Broadcasting. We will tweet it as well, or Instagram it, or Facebook it, whatever you want to do. Just be great that he knows that we're there for him as well. So much love to all of you, and thank you so much for joining me. But from myself, I've been James Parfitt alongside Dan Peoples here this evening, so take care, and we're just going to end this one with a simple good night.